Hello, and thank you for joining me here on the O'Rourke Report. Let me start out by saying if you want to be notified every time we put new content out, please hit the subscribe button, beep, and hit the like button, bump, and that helps me with my YouTubian overloads, which I think I've mentioned before, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Okay. Let's jump right into all I have for today, and then I'll be caught up. Will be Beverly Hills. But before I do, let me start out with something that was on the Instagrams and on the I guess the TikToks, that this is going to Southern Charm, where Venita, and I think I mentioned it this last week, Venita took issue with the producers playing fast and loose with the timeline on Southern Charm by making it appear that Venita went to uh, JT's hotel room in the Bahamas, even though she was aware that he had a girlfriend. Well, apparently, according to an Instagram site that I do, and this is called the Bravo Bros. These are the two guys that that talk about the Bravo shows. You know, they got into it by they would watch Bravo along with their wife, and next thing you know, they've got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they talk about Bravo. It's pretty interesting from a guy's perspective. But they were talking about the fact that the producer who pulled that on Southern Charm is the same producer who used to be on Vanderpump Rules, who tried to get Ariana to give Tom Sandoval a redemption arc on the last episode of Vanderpump Rules. In other words, they're calling this guy out for being pulling, sleazy stuff all the time, changing things like the timeline just to give a titillating story. And the guy sounds like, Chloe, my little Chloe McCloster. Please, please, I can't see anything with you over here, my little baby sweets. Come here, come here. Oh, my little baby love, get over here. Okay, good girl. So yeah, his name is Jermaine. I think that's who we have here. So yeah, I guess there are producers out there that are little liar, liar, pants on fire type of people. Okay, talking about producers. This is what, and Kyle is down as an executive producer of Beverly Hills, which in my mind also means that she can call a shot on editing. I don't know if that's true or not, but uh, I have to question this. Why are we seeing Kyle, which we saw the first part of Beverly Hills, why are we seeing Kyle get crying to the camera about some paparazzi people of a picture of Mauricio and some girl in an airport somewhere? And she's moping. All her friends are tiptoeing around her. At this point in filming, it was at least a year ago, she's the one that told Mauricio she wants a separation. She is the one who wanted this separation. Now, it's speculation. It's always been speculation all along. What happened? What brought Kyle to this point a year and a half ago of wanting a separation from Mauricio? The assumption is made on my part that he was caught doing something he shouldn't be doing. Was he cheating? It's assumption on my part that he was. She's the one who insisted upon the separation. And the separation has been in place for over a year, possibly even 2 years at this point in filming. and or today going to, March 2025. I think this ball started rolling in 23, may even have been 22. I'm not sure. And in that time, remember, we've got Kyle making believe, am I a lesbian? Am I not a lesbian? Here's my little friend I'm going to get a tattoo with. And so she's out there living what she perceives to be her best life, I guess. And, looks like Mauricio's moved on to hit with his life. So what are you complaining about, Kyle? Is there a possibility you can please put us all out of our misery, sit down with Mauricio and work this out for your family? And you, obviously, if you're moaning and groaning about that paparazzi picture, you've got very tender feelings for your husband. It's up to you, Kyle, to fix this and stop insulting the viewer, which gets me to the producers. Why do the producers allow this storyline to go on? Why aren't the producers cutting to like their snarky little edits? She's saying one thing to the camera, and the producers will cut to some film from a year and a half ago, proving that she's the one that wanted this separation. Why aren't they doing that with Kyle? Why are they treating him? Why are they giving her this victim edit when all her wounds except for the cheating that we suspect that she caught Mauricio at, her wounds are self-inflicted. Okay, don't know why the editors are doing that and we're allowing them to get away with it, but apparently we are as the viewer. So we get to see Eric and her mom. Once again, I say, as I said all along this season, Eric is a lot more appealing than she ever was before. Remember the time, this is about 2 years ago, where she said to her therapist she has no idea how to feel empathy? Well, someone who doesn't know how to feel empathy is in all likelihood a sociopath. That is one of the absolute hallmarks of a sociopath. But she appears like, is she just faking it like Tony Soprano did for Dr. Melfi? Faking empathy? I don't know, but she's just so much more likable than she ever was before. Her relationship with her mother, which we saw years ago, and it was a very frosty, cold one, appears to be warm and a good one. We get to see the transformation that Martin Lawrence Bullard has created for Erica. And I'm sorry to say, it kind of looks like the same thing she had before, except that it's new fabric, new paint, new, whatever furniture. It's very much is him restraining himself, because I've seen some of the stuff that he does. It depends on his client. Who was it? The one who does, what are the name of those shoes? Oh, I forget the name of the shoes. They're not Louis Vuittons, but some famous shoemaker. Her New York apartment, it was just over the top. It was like, who could live in that without having a nightmare? But that is my taste. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. We see Erica in the new house to her mom, and that's happy. Well, Sutton's about to give us a fashion show. Sutton. Um, and we also get a little bit more into the Dorit Boz divide over Sutton and Jennifer Tilly. I gotta say, the more we see Jennifer Tilly, the less likable she is, isn't she? Wow. Um, I never had an opinion of her left or right, but on what she's showing us and what the producers are showing us, she's just not a likable person. And anybody's surprised that she's besties with Dorit? Not really. Not really. So anyway, we prepare for we prepare for Sutton's fashion show, which apparently is at some hotel called the Godfrey. I'm assuming it's somewhere in LA. She and Jennifer Tilly are unloading a truck, or they're having Ari, not Dorit's, Sutton's unfortunate assistant. He's unloading the truck. They're bringing things into the venue and setting it up for that evening's fashion show. We cut to the fashion show. We're finally there, and this has happened a couple of times this season, and I would like to understand a little bit more of what I'm seeing. It seems to me that they are doing some of their footage is being done. Maybe it's being done with the cell phone, because it appears very authentic. And then when you hear the dialogue, what they're saying to each other, that appears to be very authentic. What we saw is people coming into Sutton's fashion show. They were all getting ready to sit down. Kathy Hilton, we're treated to each individual shot as the women get out of whatever their vehicle is. We get to see their outfit. We get to see them approach the venue. Everyone's got their own, little 30-second shot there, and then Kathy Hilton shows up. Well, hers is pure comedy, because apparently the poor dear, teetering on her high heels, and if the camera caught this, they didn't show it. Again, her sister May, as executive producer, may have made sure that it wasn't shown, but evidently she fell and she ducked into this, but she was all shaken up. But then when you see the part where Kathy arrives where the other people are and she tells them what just happened to them, it's very real, it's very authentic. You really feel for her that she fell down. And it just seems to me a different way we're hearing conversations. Is it because they're doing it with a cell phone as opposed to a camera and a boom? I don't know. I don't know, but I like it because, like I said, it comes across very authentically. Oh, Kathy. Well, okay, everybody's seated, and I don't know if this is Kathy Hilton passive aggressively screwing up Sutton's fashion show, or is she overly medicated? I don't know. But what she does, she decides, she has this brainstorm as they're all sitting down waiting for the show to begin, that really, oh, the perfect person to do the narration for this fashion show would be Dorit, wouldn't be? I mean, she's so fashionable. She knows everything. Well, Kathy gets herself up, walks down the runway, goes into the back where they're preparing the show. Sutton's running around like she is, John Galliano, waiting for her precious treasures to go out. She sees Kathy approach her, and she doesn't quite know what to say, because Kathy does have a lot of power with this women, and it may be because she is the wealthiest and she has the most contacts, and she doesn't get down and dirty, never gets down and dirty, does her damage passive aggressively. And so anyway, she sees Kathy approach. She doesn't really say anything to her because it's Kathy and she knows she can't mess with her. And Kathy makes, oh, I was just thinking that, Sutton, you should really ask Dorit to do the narration for you. Well, Sutton now gets to prove her worth by saying, well, fashion shows really don't have narrations. And she tries to uh, outschmooze Kathy. Well, Kathy, eventually, okay, well, I just thought it was a great idea. And she turns around to walk away. And the show is just about to begin, and Kathy is still on the runway, walking to her seat, shaking hands with people as the first model comes out. And the first model actually hip checks Kathy to get her out of the way. I mean, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. So if Kathy did that as a passive aggressive joke just to annoy Sutton, she was seamless. It was done to perfection. One would have never guessed. But if she didn't, if she's overly medicated, um, that's a Karen Huger type situation. May not be as bad as Karen Huger, but wow. The only other observation I want to make from Sutton's fashion show, the fashion show was allegedly, we don't know anything about the manufacturer of these clothes, where she's getting it, who did the designing. They really were very light on that information, or if they ever said it before, we certainly didn't pick it up. It was a nothing burger. It was an absolute nothing burger. And the thing is, the clothes is supposed to be sustainable. Uh, yeah, we got no details on that, but she's out there with a hot button issue, and she had her show. So the only other thing I want to say about Beverly Hills and Sutton, I say it this all the time, and Sutton is skinny as a rail. Her legs are toothpicks. The only thing that is not skinny is her belly, and it's a booze belly. This is a Sutton being so outraged that anybody would accuse her of drinking. Um, and at one point, when she's backstage getting ready for the show, the camera catches her chugging a mixed drink. I mean, it wasn't just a sip. It was like, oh, come on. So if you want to know if it's true or not, all you gotta do is see Sutton's belly, and she's got a booze belly, skinny as a rail with a booze belly. So anyway, that's all I have for today. What we'll do later in the week, of course, we will go to Charles. Oh, tonight is Summer House. Darn, I should. Well, I can do all three of them together, depending on what happens. But we've got Summer House, and we got the two Charlestons. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we have both. Oh, what's happening with hospitality is we may do hospitality separate because they're going to do their reunion. They're going to do their final episode and then their reunion. And there were a lot of things that I had some questions about. So we got more stuff coming up this week, like I said. And if you like what you saw and you want to be notified every time I put out new content, please hit the subscribe button, whoop, and hit me the like button, beep, and that'll be great. Help me out a lot with my analytics. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the O'Rourke Report.